99 Speed Rebirth, Outran Bolt to Football Glory. Welcome funds. Enjoy exclusive audiobook experiences right here. For full access to complete stories, visit my website or support me on Patreon, links are in the description. Episode 41. I got anxious and kicked all my own people. Not as Montella expected, Naples, who had been unsuccessful for a long time, was really anxious in the second half. The first is their head coach Mazzarri. After the opening, he kept waving his hands to signal the players to press forward, and even let the back line cross the midfield line. Press, press, continue to pressure him and press them to death in the penalty area. Mazzarri even took off his suit and commanded in a shirt. At the same time, the 60,000 fanatical fans at the St. Paul Stadium are also constantly putting pressure on the players of this team. As long as the player passes back, they booed hugely. And as long as the Naples team passed the ball forward, the fans cheered and even sat up in a crowd. In such an atmosphere, by the 65th minute of the game, Naples had already shot 30 goals. But still no goal. The players are anxious one by one, like ants on a hot pan. They even started to spread their hands and complain to each other. Under the command of Montella, the Fiorentina team still arranged their defense in an orderly manner. The distance between the team's defense line and the midfield has also become tighter and tighter, making Naples' shots in the second half mostly shot from anti-aircraft guns. In the 70th minute of the game, Montella waved his hand and replaced the physically weak veteran Toni with Veneto. After Veneto played, he looked excited. This is his first time playing in the new season. Montella told him, "Veneto, you have to get closer to Shi Xiaoyu after you play. How to play football, I don't need to say more, you two have a tacit understanding, play to your heart's content." The chemistry between Veneto and Shi Xiaoyu paid off after 2 minutes. Fiorentina made a big clearance in the backcourt and landed on Veneto's head impartially. He grabbed a header before the opponent's midfielder pressed. The ball rushed and flew to Shi Xiaoyu's right. Shi Xiaoyu rushed to the game and quickly advanced with the ball. "Keep an eye on that kid. Quick, keep an eye on him," Mazzarri shouted anxiously beside him. He carefully observed the video of Fiorentina playing. Shi Xiaoyu is a player with extremely fast speed and outstanding skills on the wing. If you don't stand up to him, the consequences will be disastrous. Zuniga is rapidly approaching Shi Xiaoyu at this time. In the first half, Zuniga didn't have much interaction with Shi Xiaoyu because Fiorentina was all about defense. Now is officially a good time. Dry it, and the girls around me will be settled in the second half of the year, hee. Zuniga saw the timing, a sliding shovel with a bright sole, shoveled straight at Shi Xiaoyu's ankle. For this sliding shovel, he made sufficient preparations and accelerated to run a distance of 20 meters. Zuniga is heavier, and the turf of the court was sprayed with water before the game, so his sliding tackle is very fast. Like an out-of-control tank, Zuniga flew towards Shi Xiaoyu. Montella off the field was sweating and shouted, "Get out of here." He knew that if Shi Xiaoyu was shoveled by Zuniga, the consequences would be unimaginable, and he might have a broken leg. Because Montella suffered from fierce tackles when he was a player, and was injured for most of the season. Zuniga was very bad. He deliberately avoided the head bone of Shi Xiaoyu with the shin plate, and rushed towards the ankle covered only by the ball socks. "Look, I won't waste you this time." Shi Xiaoyu was running with the ball and didn't observe the situation on the left side too much, but he felt a gust of wind blowing towards him. He subconsciously felt that someone was sliding the shovel on him. With a light jump, he dodged the damp sliding shovel. "Great job, keep pushing with the ball," Montella shouted excitedly. Shi Xiaoyu suddenly disappeared in front of him. Zuniga was startled. He wanted to retract the sliding shovel, but the speed was too fast, and he couldn't hold it back at all. Zuniga flew to the sidelines. Standing in the coaching area is their head coach Mazzarri. Zuniga's slider, unbiased, and put Mazzarri on his back. "I call you a fairy, what are you doing to shovel me?" Mazzarri was thrown to the ground, clutching his ankle, howling in pain. "Teacher, coach, I confiscated it, I didn't mean it." Zuniga was stunned. This scene made the Fiorentina bench roar with laughter. This idiot, he tried to shovel the stone but failed to shovel it, so he let his head coach go. "Grandma, is he trying to abolish our Shi Xiaoyu? He deserves it. Let their coaches have a taste of what it feels like to break a bone. I think, if he is faster, he can directly shovel into the auditorium." Shi Xiaoyu has no time to manage the coaching bench. He broke through with the ball at high speed, reached the corner area, and sent a high arc cross. Veneto, who had just played, was full of energy, followed Shi Xiaoyu to advance, rushed to the front of the penalty area, received the header, and was caught. Fiorentina lead 1-0. Episode 42. One shot, 60,000 people are speechless. Veneto, who scored a goal, rushed forward excitedly and embraced passionately with Shi Xiaoyu. He used his plump lips to kiss Shi Xiaoyu's face a few times. "Love you, my little one, you're doing such a great job." If it wasn't for Shi Xiaoyu's desperate struggle, Veneto wouldn't know how much saliva would have been wiped on Shi Xiaoyu's face. It's just that the Fiorentina players haven't celebrated long before the referee decisively stopped the game. Because Mazzari was damped and this shovel was added, he was seriously injured, and he didn't get up for a long time. The game is suspended. More than 20 members of the two teams gathered around to observe Mazzari's injury. My leg hurt so much. Cold sweat broke out on Mazzari's head, his face struggled, and he moaned in pain. The Naples team doctor stepped forward, opened Mazzari's trouser legs, and immediately screamed. Ouch, the bones are broken. This is too hard to shovel. Hurry up and fix his bones with a board, and let the ambulance come in immediately. Zuniga's production is too ruthless and extremely fast. Instead of taking down Shi Xiaoyu, he kicked his coach and broke his bone. On the big screen at the scene, Zuniga's cheating slide was played back. The fans at the St. Paul Stadium stared at the big screen and expressed their speechlessness. Zuniga is out of his mind. Does he have a grudge against Mazzari? It's a little strange. This kid usually plays football very calmly. Why is it like he is desperate now? If you want to be greedy, you are also shoveling your opponent. What is he doing to Uncle Ma? Uncle Ma is 40 or 50 years old, he can't stand this kind of trouble. It's over, Uncle Ma won't be able to direct the next game. At the same time, in the live broadcast room of Waxia fans, the pot exploded in an instant. Stealing a chicken is not a bad thing, just say, Zuniga. I figured it out. He was aiming at Shi Xiaoyu at the beginning. Fortunately, Shi Xiaoyu jumped away. Otherwise, it would be our Waxia player who broke the bone. I suggest, let's crowdfund a pair of crutches for Uncle Ma. Okay, I'll pay you $1, brothers solitaire. I pay 5 cents. Ha ha ha, Uncle Ma's next game will be commanding from the sidelines on crutches. Even if Uncle Ma doesn't use crutches, he still has to break Zuniga's legs when he goes back. Zuniga's playing career in Naples, I'm afraid it will be abolished. The winter window will have to be sold. Hey, why didn't anyone say that Shi Xiaoyu's assist pass is good? That's right, scoring a goal in the last game and assisting in this game is simply the team's top card. After the ambulance entered the scene, Mazzari was put on an oxygen mask, put on a stretcher, and sent directly to the hospital. The referee blows the whistle and the game resumes. However, affected by the influence of their coach by the players of the Naples team were a little dazed and didn't know how to play. Although they stepped up their offense under the assistant coach who took over the command, they still pressed high in Fiorentina's half. But the players' attention is a bit scattered, and the movements are not uniform. After a continuous pass, the ball was intercepted by Fiorentina midfielder Pizarro. Good chance. Shi Xiaoyu understood it, and didn't care about other things, so he rushed forward as soon as he accelerated. Pizarro has the delicate footwork of South American players. Just when Shi Xiaoyu was about to fall into the offside line, he sent a high-quality pick pass, the ball went over the defender's head and flew to Shi Xiaoyu's feet. At this time, Shi Xiaoyu is still 40 meters away from the goal. Veneto is ready too. As he rushed into the penalty area, he shouted, "Dribble the ball. Take the ball. I'll wait for you in the penalty area." The Naples players also quickly returned to defense. They know that Shi Xiaoyu is extremely fast. If they go forward and limit his passing line, the consequences will be disastrous. Already 1 goal behind, they can't accept another goal at home. Unexpectedly, after Shi Xiaoyu received the ball, instead of continuing to dribble, he flicked the ball forward. Get out of your stance and raise your thighs. He's going to shoot. Shi Xiaoyu shoots. Just after the arc of the middle circle, he kicked decisively 40 meters from the goal. Boom! Accompanied by a crisp loud noise. The ball is like a cannonball fired, hitting the goal of Naples. The old goalkeeper De Sanctis broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly put on a pose to welcome the save. But the speed of the ball was too fast. The moment he jumped out of his body, the ball had already flown into a dead corner. This experienced and battle-hardened veteran never imagined in his dreams that there would be players shooting long shots from 40 yards from the goal. The huge Naples stadium, 60,000 fans instantly fell silent. Instantly muted. Everyone couldn't believe their eyes. Even the referee was stunned for a while before blowing the whistle for a goal. The first to break the silence were 1,000 expeditionary Fiorentina fans located in a corner of the stadium. Whoa. Although there are only 1,000 people, but at this moment, the volume of their explosion was enough to make the entire St. Paul Stadium shudder. Unbelievable. Incredible. This is a great goal. The commentator of Sky Sports Italy, who was commenting on the spot, couldn't hide his inner joy and roared passionately. Shi Xiaoyu's toe is really too hard. This foot is hitting the ball on the instep. According to the analysis of the computer just now, we see that its speed is 182 km per hour. Statistics show that this is the fastest goal in Serie A since the ball speed has been calculated in the past 10 years. I seem to see Robert Carlos, the heavy gunner of the Brazilian team, possessed. No, this foot is stronger than Carlos. Shi Xiaoyu is a hero in Florence, let us cheer for him. Shi Xiaoyu ran excitedly in front of his 1,000 fans, raising his arms and shouting. And behind him were 10 teammates rushing towards him like mad dogs. Even the goalkeeper Viviano couldn't restrain the joy in his heart. He left the penalty area and ran 80 meters to Shi Xiaoyu. This is a goal that can be recorded in history. Enough to be selected for the Puskás Goal Award that year. Episode 43. Every child's dream deserves encouragement. Fiorentina lead by 2 goals. After that, the game completely entered the rhythm of the visiting team. Naples had no fighting spirit, and the referee also took advantage of the trend to end the game. Teammates gathered on the field and congratulated Shi Xiaoyu one after another. You really hide your secrets. I only knew that you were fast around the world. I never thought that your shots would be so violent. In 2008, Cristiano Ronaldo's long shot from 40 meters away at the Porto Dragon Stadium was nothing more than that, not as good as you. Veteran midfielder Pizarro. I began to recall the shocking long-range shot of the superstar Ronaldo against Porto in the Champions League 4 years ago. It's almost the same position, the same distance, and the same angle, but Shi Xiaoyu's ball is faster and more sudden. Perhaps, superstars all have similar growth trajectories. Teammates compare themselves with Ronaldo. Shi Xiaoyu feels supreme glory at this moment. His goal is also to become a world superstar like Ronaldo and Messi, not only to dominate the league, but also in the Champions League, overcoming obstacles and winning the championship. Although this road is very long, although he has just started, but his future is bright. At the San Paolo Stadium, most of the fans of the Naples home team left the field sadly. The remaining 1,000 Fiorentina expedition fans have been reluctant to leave for a long time. They struggled to display the banners in their hands, waving the flags and shouting. Some people even brought out the small trumpets hidden in their pockets, whining and blowing lively. Fiorentina players stood in a row, led by coach Montella, to thank the fans who came from the expedition. In a country with a highly developed football culture, fans are an integral part of football. Without the support of the fans, the players lose their motivation to fight and become a source of water. When the players are depressed and in a downturn, if the fans can give support and encouragement, it is also very important for the players' recovery. In this game, the 1,000 fans of the Fiorentina team played an important role as the 12th man outside the field very well. Shi Xiaoyu patted the team badge on his chest, kissed it, and waved to the fans. Stone, 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 Fiorentina fans shouted rhythmically. They have a leading bald man with a passionate topless body directing the ups and downs of the fans' voices. Shi Xiaoyu knows that at this moment, he has become the supreme hero in the hearts of the expedition fans. In this game, 1 goal and 1 assist. Perfectly completed the small task I set before the game, continue the state of playing. Thank you, I love you. Shi Xiaoyu used proficient Italian, opened his voice, and said loudly to the fans in the stands. A little blonde fan wearing glasses, snoring with a puffy face, yelled at Shi Xiaoyu. Can I have your jersey? I want your jersey. Small fans with small bodies are not conspicuous among the crowd of fans with big arms and round waists. But Shi Xiaoyu spotted him at a glance. Because the little fans have a pair of sincere eyes. There is an incomparable love for football in his eyes. A child's eyes don't lie. Shi Xiaoyu knows this pair of eyes very well, because he also had such eyes when he was in elementary school. Ever since he was a kid, he dreamed of being a professional soccer player. Then on the highest football stage in the world, kick the game and score goals. It's a pity that in the country where he grew up, Waxia, football is getting worse and worse every year, and the downhill is getting faster and faster. There are fewer and fewer classmates playing football, and teachers and parents do not encourage children to play football, but force them to do homework blindly. The only time for sports is also divided by basketball, badminton, table tennis, and other sports. Lonely Shi Xiaoyu, holding a soccer ball alone in physical education class. He walked past the basketball court, the concrete ping-pong table, and the cinder badminton court. He was alone, no one followed him. He can't call friends and play in groups like other children, having a great time. All he has is a lonely football. A pair of patched football boots. And a black ball print, unremarkable concrete wall. The lonely Shi Xiaoyu, accompanied by the lonely football, practiced shooting and passing the ball against the concrete wall one kick after another. Bang bang bang, kicked a bouncing ball for a whole gym class. The other students were curious, thinking that Shi Xiaoyu is an idiot who can kick a ball against a wall by himself. What's so interesting about it? But Shi Xiaoyu knows, as long as you really love football, no matter where you are, there will be a green field of your own in your heart. Thinking of these old events, Shi Xiaoyu burst into tears. He took off his jersey, walked to the stands, climbed up the barbed wire fence, and threw the jersey to the little fans. Son, thank you for coming. I will see you in the next away game. The little fans who got Shi Xiaoyu's jersey were so excited that they danced and screamed. He put this original jersey on his head on the spot. The fans around showed envious eyes at him. To get the off-field jersey of an important player in the team is the dream of many Fiorentina fans in their lives. And this lucky thing fell on a child. Children are always full of dreams, and children's dreams also need to be encouraged by others. Maybe many years later, this kid will also become a professional player. And the motivation to encourage him to go forward without fear of hardships and dangers in his career is the jersey presented by Shi Xiaoyu himself. Episode 44 Become a Wrist. The cards have improved a lot. Italian Serie A, the first 2 games of the new season, Shi Xiaoyu contributed 2 goals and 1 assist. He and Lazio's German striker Miroslav Klose are tied for the top scorer list. Through these 2 games, Shi Xiaoyu has also established a certain prestige in the Fiorentina team. First of all, although he is only 18 years old, but he doesn't have to shine the shoes of the veteran first-team players on the team like other young players who have just been promoted from the reserve team. This is the tradition of Italian football. In such a country with serious seniority culture, young players must serve old players well. Shine shoes, wash shoes, deliver jerseys and equipment. Although there are equipment administrators in the club doing these tasks, young players must also lower their profile and take part of the responsibility. Toby Shi Xiaoyu is 1 year older, and at this time he has to shine the shoes of the old players. At the same time, the position of Shi Xiaoyu's locker room has also been adjusted. Before, his dressing room was in an obscure corner. Now, the equipment manager said something to the head coach Montella, and moved him to the middle. It is more convenient to change clothes and shoes, and it is also more convenient for him to communicate with his teammates. The club's logistics department also provided corresponding logistics services according to Shi Xiaoyu's living conditions. First of all, I rented a local villa for Shi Xiaoyu. This villa has 3 houses and is 2 stories high. Although it is not big, it has a spacious yard and many flowers and plants. The house is located in an upscale villa area in the traditional Florentine suburbs, a place loved by many local players. Tony, Pizarro and many other old players also live here. Shi Xiaoyu originally wanted to live in the club dormitory. He didn't have much need for these material things. And he felt that living in the club would make training more convenient. What's more, his old teammate Veneto still lives at the club, and he doesn't want to leave this best friend so soon. But Veneto said to him firmly, "Shi, you must move out, you must move out." "Why, don't you want to live with me?" Shi Xiaoyu wondered. Veneto smiled slyly, showing his white teeth. "You can't live in a villa? If you move out, I can live in a villa with you." We were still roommates at that time. Shi Xiaoyu fainted. At the same time, the club also provided Shi Xiaoyu with a free car. This is a Sonata provided by the Fiorentina team sponsor, Kia Group. The car is very new, powered by a 3.5-liter V6, and when you push the accelerator, it makes a mighty roar. Just in line with Shi Xiaoyu's extremely fast speed. In this way, one afternoon, Shi Xiaoyu and Veneto packed their luggage, got into the Sonata car, and drove to the villa in the suburbs. Under the influence of the Mediterranean climate, Italy in summer is always sunny and cool. Veneto closed the window, put his long hands out of the window, and let the wind blow his dark face. "Hey, you said that we won all the first 2 games of the new season. Isn't this the beginning too smoothly? Is it not good? Do you want to fail?" Shi Xiaoyu asked back. No, that's not what I mean. It's best to win, and it's also great that I can score goals." Veneto closed the window and solemnly said to Shi Xiaoyu, "But the season is a long journey. We have 38 games, 19 at home and 19 away. We haven't faced it yet. Strong teams like Inter Milan, Juventus, AC Milan, and Roma, when we play against them, it's the real thing." Veneto talked eloquently, like a battle-tested old player, and began to analyze the style of play of the top Serie A teams. Shi Xiaoyu smiled noncommittally. Of course he knows that the league is a long journey. After playing 38 rounds this year, there will be 38 rounds next year. Fiorentina did not play in Europe this season. If they enter the Champions League or Europa League next season and reach the final, then there will be more than 10 more games a year. What's more, in addition to the League and the Champions League, they also have the Coppa Italia. Quote, "It is normal for a player with a full load to play 70, 50 or 60 games a season. The long game period is a severe test for the player's mental and physical fitness." Shi Xiaoyu looked out the window. The soft golden sunset, and the flat fire clouds dyed the sky all over. The sound of the oriole bird echoed among the rustling oak trees. And he was driving a new car on a straight country road. It's nice to relax like this once in a while. "Veneto, let me ask you, why do you want to become a professional player?" Shi Xiaoyu asked abruptly. Veneto was taken aback for a moment, then laughed out loud. "I don't play football? What can I do if I don't play football? I don't know how to read books, and I don't know how to do technology. Or go to the construction site to build walls. I think it's better to play football. It suits me. Oh, I thought only players were like me and wanted to be a professional footballer since I was a kid. Veneto shook his head. Italy's welfare policy is not bad, and children will have many choices when they grow up. If you like playing football, you can play football. If you don't like playing football, you can study. If you study well, you can go to a university to get a doctorate and study in a research institute. Those with poor grades can enter vocational school early, and after graduation, they can drive excavators, repair airplanes, or become truck drivers. They are all good jobs. These are all decent jobs. When Veneto said this, he looked at the gorgeous country houses along the street outside the window, and fell into deep thought. Unlike my non-mainstream hometown, those children are miserable. They grew up in the slums, and their parents saw football as the only life-saving straw for their children to achieve class leap. Although Veneto is usually joking, he is still quite serious when it comes to major events in life. Perhaps this has something to do with his growth experience. Yeah, maybe different life environments lead to different life choices. Shi Xiaoyu stopped talking. In the afterglow of the setting sun, the car sped past and gradually disappeared into the dense oak forest. Episode 45. This fruit basket is probably poisonous. In the first 2 rounds, under the leadership of Shi Xiaoyu, Fiorentina made great strides, won 2 games in a row, and ranked first in the standings. The whole team is very satisfied with the current ranking, and the atmosphere in the locker room is also very harmonious. Everyone is very united, cohesive, and united. A team is like this. When the record is good, the atmosphere of the team is naturally harmonious. If the record goes bad, there will be disagreements, and there will even be conflicts between players and coaches due to tactics and substitutions. Now 2 games in a row, everything is fine, everything is harmonious. But there was only one person in the team, and he was very upset. Needless to say, he is that Colombian, Cudos Tudela. Cuadella is so puzzled. His big brother Zuniga, whether in the national team or in the club team, is an experienced old player. How can it be so difficult to hurt a Shi Xiaoyu? He remembered that when he had just talked with Zuniga on the phone, there was his swearing voice on the other end of the phone. Hold me, and you will be ready for the supply of beauties in the second half of the year. I thought that with Zuniga's help, Shi Xiaoyu would have to recuperate for at least 3 or 4 months after being fractured, and he took advantage of this time to take the opportunity to regain his position as the main force. Unexpectedly, Shi Xiaoyu's performance in this game was even better than the last one. And Zuniga became the laughingstock of everyone because he shoveled and injured the head coach. On the second day after this funny tackle happened, the major sports media in Italy and Europe were so lively that they exploded. Gazzetta dello Sport. Obviously, Zuniga regards Mazzarri as a Fiorentina player. Sports Week Review, Mazzarri, the most unlucky head coach in the world. Corriere dello Sport, the head coach is seriously injured. The future of Zuniga is uncertain, and the winter window may be sold at a low price. World Pictorial, the intention is unknown. Who does Zuniga want to shovel? Der Spiegel Weekly, is it an accident, or is it public revenge? Dissecting the tackle behind Zuniga ball. Especially many tabloids, fearing that the world will not be chaotic, took advantage of the topic and fabricated many grievances and hatreds torn between Zuniga and head coach Mazzarri. In their writing, Zuniga has become a person who is at odds with the Ma family. On the surface, he was diligent, and followed the coach's tactical deployment, but secretly he kept taking the opportunity to assassinate Mazzarri. At this moment in the game, he finally found the right opportunity and deliberately shoveled towards the coach's ankle. In the end, Zuniga succeeded, and he showed a proud smile. But the truth is, Zuniga can't even laugh. In the past few days, he walked with fear, like walking on thin ice. His face was like a frosted eggplant. What a mess. Of course, for the sake of public relations and to clarify some rumors, the Naples club also arranged for Zuniga, under the auspices of the club's media director, to bring a flower basket to visit Mazzarri, who had just been rolled out of the operating room. In the ward, one was suppressing the anger in his heart, and the other was trying to hide the fear in his eyes. Under the spotlight and Kaka's camera, the two shook hands and made peace. The public relations team of the Naples team specially posted this high-resolution photo on the club's social media. Title: An accidental incident cannot conceal the long-term friendship between the master and the apprentice. But the fans and netizens who commented below didn't buy it. Netizen Bierhoff said, "Look at Mazzarri's livid face, I think his teeth are about to be crushed, ha ha ha, he really can't bear it." 1252 likes. Netizen Penny replied, "If it weren't for the high-level officials in Naples and the reporters present, Mazzarri would probably pick up his walking stick and discount the damping in this kid's legs." 2300 likes. Be careful with the fruit basket that Zuniga placed. Maybe there is poison in it, this kid is probably going to kill Mazzarri. 980 likes. I just watched the replay of Zuniga's sliding shovel again. It's so funny. Does this kid have 2 wheels under his A*? 1532 likes. I suggest installing grass mowing equipment under Zuniga's at ***, and let him slide dozens of back and forth on the field, which can also achieve the effect of a professional lawn harvester. 3212 likes. In this way, this social statement in Naples, which was originally intended to alleviate conflicts and clarify facts, has become a hotbed for netizens who have nothing to do to use their imagination and create literature. What's funny is that the official social media of other Serie A clubs, in the attitude of watching the excitement and not taking too much trouble, also added fuel to the fire, and forwarded this statement one after another. The official media of the Juventus team made this picture a picture. In the picture, Mazzari hides a pistol in his hand under the quilt, and Zuniga's hand behind him is also stuffed with a sharp knife. Does this indicate that the grievances between the two are still unresolved, and there is still a fight? The Inter Milan team is even more humorous. They retweeted and commented, "The 3 most dangerous places in the world, precarious cliffs, the foot of a volcanic eruption, and the coaching bench of the Naples team. And Florence is the deadliest." They forwarded and posted a picture of Shi Xiaoyu raising his arms and shouting after scoring a goal. As long as a person runs fast enough, missiles can't hit him. It can be called murder. Episode 46 Obtain, Pass Master, Star S card. In a blink of an eye, it has come to the 10th round of Serie A. In the first 10 games, Fiorentina achieved outstanding results. They achieved 9 wins and 1 tie, ranking first in the standings. Among them, Montella's command is appropriate. This young coach is getting better after a few rounds of games, and slowly transfers some of his ideas about playing football as a player to his players. At the same time, his passionate coaching style has gradually infected the players on the court. Everyone is full of passion and ambition, and they are devoted to Montella and regard him as their football mentor. In addition to Montella, Shi Xiaoyu has contributed a lot. In 10 games, he actually contributed 10 goals and 7 assists, ranking first in both the scorer list and the assist list. It is unimaginable that an 18-year-old player can achieve such a double 10 score in Serie A for the first time. The league has only started 10 rounds. In these 10 games, he has scored and assisted almost every game. The only game where Montella didn't play was because Montella was afraid of his fatigue, and when he was playing against the newly promoted team, he was placed on the bench to rest on the bench, and replaced by Quad Della. It's a pity to praise that Della was too emotionally affected and played poorly, which failed Montella's expectations of him. Even scored an own goal on the field. All of a sudden, the originally domineering Colombian was completely beaten out of the sidelines by Montella. After all, Shi Xiaoyu, who played my game steadily, was there, and there was no playing time at all in Quadella. In addition, the Fiorentina team has no European games this season, only Serie A and Coppa Italia games. The long-term stable schedule of 1 game a week has gradually made the team's mainframe clear, and there are not many rotations. In the 11th round of the league, Fiorentina will face AC Milan away. The whole team pays special attention to this game. AC Milan is a traditional strong team in Serie A. They have won 18 league championships and 7 Champions Leagues. Not only in Serie A, but also in the entire world of football, Milan is also a famous football club. Of course, Shi Xiaoyu also attaches great importance to this game. Since landing in Serie A, this is the first time he has faced top giants. At the end of training the day before the game, the sound of the live football system sounded again. Ding! The host starts the task of challenging the giants of the league. Task reward: get a Star S card. Mission assistance: open 30 minutes, pass Master S card experience time. If the host challenge is successful, defeat AC Milan, and send assists during the 30-minute Global Master S card experience time, you can permanently get the Global Master S card. When Shi Xiaoyu heard it, it was like chicken blood was spattered all over her body. In his previous life, he had also played live soccer games, so he was very familiar with the system settings. There are 2 factors that can affect a player's ability. On the one hand is the value. For example, shooting, passing, bouncing, defense, etc., all have quantifiable values to measure. On the other hand is the Star S card, such as fox in the restricted area, good at the outside instep, B2B midfielder, defense leader, double reverse foot, and so on. Once you have these Star S cards, the player's ability can get a qualitative leap, even beyond the frame range that the value should have. In other words, a player with a passing ability of 90 is not even as good as a player with a passing ability of 80 but has a Global Master Star S card. It's like turning on the buff bonus. We must get this Star S card. Shi Xiaoyu made up his mind. Montella attaches great importance to tomorrow's game. Before the end of training, he deliberately gathered the players together and explained to them the detailed tactics for 30 minutes. In this game, we don't play defensive counterattacks in the away game, we have to play possession. As soon as this remark came out, the Fiorentina team was in an uproar. Although the team scored 9 wins and 1 tie in the first 10 rounds, it ranked first in the standings. But this does not mean that the strength of the Fiorentina team is stronger than that of AC Milan. After all, in the first 10 games played by the team has not encountered such a strong team as the top 3 in the north, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus. Is it really appropriate to go to the away game on someone else's territory, to play pass control? Montella insisted on his tactics. He analyzed. You guys did a great job in the first 10 rounds. Our whole team has been reborn, but remember, every head coach in Serie A is a tactical master, and he will analyze the video of each of your games in detail. I believe that at this stage, each of our players is very familiar with the head coach of each team. In their hands, there are a lot of video clips and data analysis materials of our games. Aiming at your habits, they will take targeted measures. If we want to maintain continuous good results in Serie A, we must learn to change and enrich our own tactics. So in this game, I am going to play possession, just to do the opposite. The whole team stared wide-eyed, all of them were shocked by the courage of the head coach Montella. By surprise, Montella just wanted to hit Milan suddenly. I don't want you to play winger in this game. Shi Xiaoyu was taken aback. I've been playing winger, has the game plan changed? Montella took out the tactical board and explained it to Shi Xiaoyu alone. In this game, you play the front midfielder. I need you to connect the position between the midfielder and the forward, and at the same time, through your wide range of running, you must stir up the opponent's midfielder. Remember, you are not a classic attacking midfielder. I want you to be an all-around player. You not only have to defend, run, penetrate, and pass. When necessary, you still need to shoot. You are the top scorer in the team. Although the position has changed, Xiaoyu is secretly happy. Because in the position of the midfielder, he has more opportunities to send assists for the striker. The system gave him 30 minutes of pass master *S card time, and he just wanted to use these 30 minutes to get a few more assists. Under the blue sky, a few magpies fluttered happily, and then perched on the oak tree next to the training ground. Seeing this peaceful scene, Shi Xiaoyu swore to herself. Tomorrow, I must break through San Siro. Episode 47. The 80,000 capacity San Siro Stadium is packed. Milan is the fashion and art center of the world, the design capital of the world, a famous historical and cultural city in the world, and one of the 4 major economic centers in Europe. Its population is second only to Rome in Italy. This city, located on the Lombardy Plain in northern Italy, has a permanent population of about 1.5 million. In Europe, with a population of more than 1 million, it can be regarded as a megacity. The population of Milan is exactly 3 times that of Florence. In such a fashion capital, players from all over the world are attracted to play here. Of course, the most famous is the Milan duo. The Milan duo are not only attractive to the players, but also to the players' wives and girlfriends. What woman doesn't want to live in the fashion capital of the world, in the center of the spotlight? Not to mention the historic Milan Cathedral, not to mention the Sforzesco Castle with many collections, not to mention the La Scala Opera House, where colorful dramas are staged every day. Just the dazzling array of luxury goods in the mall is enough to drive these women crazy. This is the football center of Italy and the fashion center of the whole of Europe. Shi Xiaoyu is coming to Milan for the first time. On the ball bus when he arrived, Veneto sat beside Shi Xiaoyu, looked at the gorgeous shops on the roadside, and couldn't help but whispered to Shi Xiaoyu. Hey, when the game is over, let's go to the store and buy a bag. Shi Xiaoyu wore earphones and did not answer Veneto. Now he is listening to the sound. Many players have the habit of listening to music on the team bus. When the players hear the music they are familiar with, they can release the pressure and soothe the body and mind, so that when the game starts, it is best to enter the battle preparation. Shi Xiaoyu's music taste is quite unique. Unlike other Fiorentina players, Shi Xiaoyu neither listens to rock nor rap. What he listened to was the traditional folk musical instrument of Waxia Kingdom. Suona. As the saying goes, the 1,000-year-old pipa, the 10,000-year zither, an erhu for a lifetime, and the sound of the suona will end the whole play. Every time Shi Xiaoyu hears this high-pitched and penetrating timbre, his blood boils. In Shi Xiaoyu's ears, the suona was as loud as a charge. He closed his eyes and imagined himself struggling on the court accompanied by the high-pitched suona. He listened so intently that he even shook his head. Veneto was a little curious. What kind of music did this Huxia man listen to? And he could listen to it so deeply, that it was as if he hadn't even heard him talking to him. Driven by curiosity, Veneto took off Shi Xiaoyu's earphones and put them on his head. I'm going, what is this? Veneto shuddered, only to feel a bursting sound in his ears. He quickly took off the earphones, and threw them back to Shi Xiaoyu. Oh, you don't understand, Veneto. Shi Xiaoyu smiled without saying a word. My dear, I was scared to death. When I heard this voice, I felt like I was about to go to war. Shi Xiaoyu smiled, and said to Pooh. Yes, against Milan, we just want to win a game. The San Siro Stadium, which can accommodate 80,000 people, is full of seats. According to common sense, only the Milan derby, the national derby, or when Milan is against the Champions League team, there is such a treatment. But now, the Fiorentina team ranks first in the standings. The second place is Inter Milan, and the third place is Juventus. Milan is only ranked fourth. If this game can beat Fiorentina, then Milan can surpass Juventus and rank third, and continue to cling to Fiorentina. Therefore, this is what fans often say, a 6-point battle. The whole Milan team gathered their energy and dismounted Florence. From the 2012 season to the 2013 season, Milan has lost its former glory. They won the Serie A championship in the 2010-2011 season 2 years ago. However, limited by its own financial situation, Milan's lineup could not be effectively updated, so the results gradually declined, but it was still stable in the Champions League. Now their leading star is the former Brazilian Robinho. This former cyclist, after transferring from Real Madrid to AC Milan, with his dazzling dribbling skills, has repeatedly helped the team open the situation at critical moments, and has become Milan's head star. Before the game, some media exaggerated. This game is a duel between Milan's Robinho and Fiorentina's Shi Xiaoyu. Under the cheers of 80,000 home fans, the two teams lined up to appear on the stage. Shi Xiaoyu saw the huge banner in the south stand. There are two huge numbers 18 and 7 written on the banner. Shi Xiaoyu knows that this represents Milan's glory in the past, 18 Serie A titles and 7 Champions League titles. The entire San Siro stadium instantly turned into a sea of red. Before the game started, the fans started to wave. The red waves roll back and forth in the court, which makes people excited. Even the Fiorentina players in the away game were infected by the atmosphere and couldn't help but look back frequently. To be able to play in the most magnificent stadium in Italy, Shi Xiaoyu's heart beats violently. He dreamed of this day too. Episode 48, Anti-Customer. Hit by surprise. AC Milan coach Allegri is a typical Serie A coach. He pays attention to defense, pays attention to team awareness, takes the lead in stability, and never advocates risky offense. Therefore, in the Ancelotti era, the 4,321 Christmas tree formation has disappeared in Milan. Allegri is now implementing a 4,312 formation in Milan. The midfield is 3 black and hard. They are only responsible for stirring up the midfield and handing the ball to the front midfielder as soon as they get the ball. The advantage of this formation is that the midfielder is very hard. When confronting a strong team head-to-head, the strength of the midfielder will not be inferior. But the disadvantages are also obvious. The 3 midfielders are all physically fit and lacking in skills, so they can do some rough butcher work, but the work of threading needles must be handed over to their midfielders. But the terrible thing is that now Milan's midfielder Kevin Boateng is also a violent rough guy. He has a strong body, obvious muscle lines, great strength, and is good at fighting and long-range shooting. Not at all the artist-type midfielder of Seedorf Pirlo. But his type of attacking midfielder also wears the number 10 jersey, which symbolizes the absolute main force of the midfield. It can be seen that under the leadership of Allegri, Milan has become a team that is good at fighting opponents in the midfield. Milan's midfielder Montolivo was transferred from Fiorentina to AC Milan on a free transfer last year. The so-called free transfer means that after the contract between the player and the team expires, he directly signs the contract with the new team without choosing to renew the contract. For the original team, this is undoubtedly a loss, because they didn't get a single transfer fee. For players, free transfer is an important negotiating way to increase their salary when they sign with a new team. Therefore, when Monterrey appeared on the stage, the 2,000 Fiorentina fans on the expedition broke out in a huge boo. It's just that this empty voice was quickly overwhelmed by the shouts of 80,000 Milan fans. Game start. Allegri is a famous coach in Serie A. Before the game, he made a careful analysis of Fiorentina's first 10 games. He judged that Florence's expedition to the away game must adopt defensive and counter-attack tactics. So Allegri also did the opposite. Ambrosini and Montari, 2 mid-length meat grinders, were not allowed to start. Instead, players who were slightly weaker but good at passing and controlling, such as Monterevo and Flamini, were replaced. Allegri's purpose is to control the game at Milan's feet and use the ball to put pressure on the opponent. Unexpectedly, the scene in the opening 10 minutes was completely beyond his expectation. Uncharacteristically, Fiorentina did not hide their defense, but pushed the formation forward substantially, and even forced the pass of the Milan defender in front of the penalty area. Under such a high-pressure formation, Milan frequently loses the ball, and once they lose the ball, it is difficult to get it back. Because Fiorentina, who has won the ball, likes to pass back and forth in the midfield and move left and right. They are not in a hurry to send long boats and deadly throws forward, but firmly press the ball under their feet. After such a few back and forth, in the first 10 minutes, Fiorentina's ball possession rate was as high as 78%, while Milan had only a poor 22%. Meanwhile, Fiorentina created 3 chances on goal, while Milan had just 1, and flack. Allegri frowned and looked at Monti. "You kid, play tactics with me?" Fiorentina has high ambitions, and under Montella's passionate command, they frequently press and put tremendous pressure on their opponents. Especially Shi Xiaoyu's side. He didn't play as a winger, but in the position of the front midfielder, he frequently turned around by catching the ball, dribbling in a small range, and messed up the opponent's midfield. In order to mark Shi Xiaoyu, Milan had to send someone to mark. And once 2 or 3 people swarmed up, the teammates around Shi Xiaoyu would have a huge gap, and he could calmly pass the ball before the opponent pounced on him. That is to say, the poor foot feel of striker Tony Magnetic Field wasted 2 excellent opportunities for Shi Xiaoyu, otherwise Fiorentina would have taken a 2-goal lead in the first 20 minutes. Allegri was taken aback, and quickly called the team back to make the formation more compact. It's just that Milan's midfielders are all technical, and they lack the point of fighting. Even if they are recovered together, in terms of body and height, Florence is still at a disadvantage and cannot win the ball. Pizarro received the pass from the goalkeeper in the backcourt and looked up. Suddenly a long pass, the ball landed beside Tony. Tony lifts 2 defenders and struggles to do it with the head back. Shi Xiaoyu immediately inserted in the front midfielder, and before the ball landed, he volleyed violently. With a strong inward spin, the ball flew towards the upper left corner of the goal. The ball went in. The goalkeeper of the Milan team, Abbiati, couldn't defend well and could only watch the ball enter the net. Shi Xiaoyu opened the scoring for the team. Episode 49: The tactical battle between Allegri and Montella. During the intermission, Allegri was furious. He pointed to Flamini's nose and cursed. "What did you tell me before the game? The number 24 on the opposite side is good at violent long-range shots. You lost your position in such an empty position just now." Flamini looked helpless and wronged. "Coach, they were tossing around in the midfield. I couldn't grab the ball, so I had to press it out." "There's no way." Allegri was so angry that his mouth was crooked. "If you can't grab the ball, you can't stand your position. What use are you for? Montari, you trade for Flamini in the second half. Keep an eye on number 24, Shi." Ghana's midfielder Montari is a strong black midfielder. He patted his rock-hard chest and said to the coach, "No problem, boss." And in the dressing room in Florence, it looks more harmonious and peaceful. Montella crossed his arms across his chest and walked around the locker room saying, "Guys, well done in the first half, keep playing like this in the second half. Don't be afraid, we are also a strong team. We play hard. Milan may not be our opponent. I have full confidence in your abilities." At the beginning of the second half, Allegri changed 2 people in a row. Montolivo and Flamini, replaced by Ambrosini and Montari. He immediately changed his style of play and returned to the midfield meat grinder. After the 2 midfielders came up, they were full of energy, and frantically strangled Fiorentina's midfielder like hand-to-hand combat. As long as the Fiorentina midfielder gets the ball, one of Ambrosini and Montari will stick to it, shoving and stomping on the opponent's ankles, knees and waist in secret. Fiorentina team midfielder Pizarro, who is old and relatively weak, was so disturbed by Montari and Ambrosini that he was in pain, his passing accuracy dropped a lot, and he lost the ball frequently. He is the engine of Florence against the midfielder. Once the engine is turned off, Florence's high-speed sports car will also lose its power. Gradually, the Milan team regained the advantage in the midfield. At 60 minutes, the ball possession of the 2 sides for the entire game had reached 55%. As we all know, the reason why Milan has been at the top in the past few seasons is that their strength in the second half has always been their strength. Under the command of the coach, Robinho began to retreat frequently to take the ball, and stood in the position of the midfielder. The Brazilian genius Robinho stepped on several bicycles after taking the ball, dazzled the defender of the Fiorentina team, and his toes trembled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Robinho stepped on 8 bicycles in a row, and Hot Wheels usually passed 3 defenders in a row, pushing and shooting with 1 kick. The ball went in. The Milan team equalized the score and the situation on the court was 1-1. "Hurry up, there are 30 minutes left, and score another goal." Allegri yelled at the players on the sidelines, and then discussed countermeasures with the assistant coach. Montella was silent. He touched his chin and had his own understanding of the situation on the field. After Milan changed to a ground midfielder, although the possession rate of the midfielder has increased, rough guys like Ambrosini and Montella, after playing, control the situation on the field. For example, they must not be as good as the pass control type. Players are so delicate. Shi Xiaoyu, retreat to the midfield. Shi Xiaoyu returned to the position of central midfielder from the attacking midfielder. Ding! The host activates the Pass Master Star S card, 30 minutes of experience time, now start the timer. It's still time, you're finally here, I've been waiting so hard. Shi Xiaoyu smiled wryly. There are 30 minutes left in the game, just give this Pass Master S card 30 minutes of full experience time. Shi Xiaoyu only felt that a golden card fell from the sky and hit his head, and then his muscles tensed, as if he had been struck by lightning. He received a short pass from Pizarro. He glanced at Tony's position from the corner of his eye, and then used a very imaginative pass with the instep of the outside foot. The ball produced a high degree of external spin. First it flew to the left, and then under the physical effect of the rotation, it bypassed the defending Ambrosini and landed precisely at Tony's feet. Seeing that he had lost his position, Ambrosini quickly chased him back, blocking with a slide shovel. It's a pity that Tony's pace was very fast. Before Ambrosini touched him, he had already kicked and the ball fell into the net. The Fiorentina team overtook 2-1. What? Tony let out a scream. Ambrosini's sliding tackle is too wide, and after Tony's shot, it takes him down. Veteran Tony's huge body fell heavily to the ground. The referee stopped the game. The team doctor came in and confirmed that Tony's knee was sprained. He couldn't keep playing and had to be replaced. It was high center Veneto who replaced Tony. Veneto was a little nervous, his limbs were stiff. He ran onto the field in a daze, stood motionless at the center position, staring at the huge banner in the auditorium in a daze. Shi Xiaoyu hurried forward and knocked Veneto hard on the head. Hey man, wake up, you're playing at the San Siro. Only then did Veneto come to his senses. He looked at Shi Xiaoyu in horror and nervousness, and nodded heavily. Don't be nervous, Shi Xiaoyu smiled mysteriously, my passing skills have made great progress, you can wait for the pie later. Episode 50. Yes, offense is the best defense. After Veneto came on the field, Shi Xiaoyu suddenly came alive. Although compared with the veteran Tony, Veneto, who is less than 20 years old, is at a disadvantage in terms of experience and skills. But Veneto has a significant advantage. He is younger, lighter in weight, stronger in running ability, and better able to run out of space according to changes in the situation on the court. And Shi Xiaoyu, who is in the midfield position, after activating the Pass Master Star S card, just needs a player like Veneto who can run repeatedly and run out of space. After Shi Xiaoyu retreated, he and the veteran Pizarro echoed each other. Pizarro is no longer in the situation of fighting alone, the two can conduct the ball in the midfield. Although the two sweepers, Ambrosini and Montella, struggled to strangle in the midfield. However, once the ball passed between Pizarro and Shi Xiaoyu, it would not be so easy for the two to steal the ball. Shi Xiaoyu received the ball, made a beautiful turn around, and passed the rushing Montari through the crotch. Montari got up and wanted to catch up with Shi Xiaoyu, but he couldn't catch up. He wanted to draw a tactical foul, so he reached for Shi Xiaoyu's jersey. With a click, Shi Xiaoyu's jersey was torn by Montella. But Shi Xiaoyu started extremely fast. Even though the autumn clothes were torn, he didn't fall down, but kept going. My god, this kid is too fast. Teaman, stop him quickly. Seeing this, the old captain Ambrosini hurriedly chased after Shi Xiaoyu. It's a pity that his speed is slower than Montari's. Once he passes by, he will never catch up again. At this time, Jovetic, who was on the right, reached for the ball. Shi Xiaoyu made a pass behind him. The ball went over Milan's right back and matched the path of Jovetic's fork. Jovetic is a technical player from Eastern Europe. Faced with such an incoming ball, he didn't even stop the ball, and swept it directly, and the ball flew into the penalty area. Veneto interspersed in the penalty area early. After receiving a pass from Jovetic, he used his body to protect the ball, and the ball will hit the top of the penalty area. Shi Xiaoyu arrived in stride. Is he about to shoot? All people's hearts are raised in their throats. Ambrosini, who has strong willpower and has never given up on defense, flies to block. He knew very well that in this position, if Shi Xiaoyu was allowed to shoot violently, it would be almost equivalent to a penalty kick. However unexpected is, Shi Xiaoyu's fake E**************** N is real. Back at the feet of Veneto. Fortunately, after Shi Xiaoyu passed the ball, he immediately jumped up and avoided Ambrosio's vicious sliding tackle, otherwise, he would have ended up like Tony. Veneto is dumbfounded. What's wrong? The ball is back? He never expected it. Shi Xiaoyu actually passed the ball back. At this time, there are no defenders around him, and he is not in an offside position. Hurry up and shoot, what are you still doing? Shi Xiaoyu yelled. Veneto was a little nervous, but the striker's instinct still made him push the ball forward with his right foot and observe the goalkeeper's position. At this time, Abbiati has firmly sealed the near corner, opened his comfortable arm, and waved it up and down, trying to interfere with Veneto. Abbiati is 191 centimeters tall and has a large defensive area. Standing in front of the goal, the huge goal, under his cover, the angle for shooting becomes very small. However, when God closes a door for you, he will open a window at the same time. Abbiati is tall and has long legs, although he has a large defensive area. But while he was trying to expand the defensive area, the small door between the two long legs opened towards Veneto. Good opportunity, the gate is not allowed to shoot, I shoot your wicket. Veneto thought to himself. Slender Veneto, quick swinging calf. An instep volley, trying to control the height of the ball, sticking to the ground. The ball flew towards Abbiati's legs like a mouse burrowing into the ground. Abbia was startled, subconsciously shrank her legs, and wanted to close the door. It's just that the speed of the ball was too fast. Although Abbiati's calf and ankle touched the ball rebounded into the goal after bumps and bumps. Go in, go in. Veneto roared excitedly and ran towards Shi Xiaoyu frantically. I scored Milan's goal, oh my god. Veneto couldn't believe himself that he was able to score against Milan. He played 8 games off the bench last season and failed to score a single goal. This season, it was only the 3rd time he came off the bench, and he actually scored a goal in the Milan derby, and it was a go-ahead goal. Veneto and Shi Xiaoyu embraced passionately. Other teammates also gathered around to celebrate. Man, well done. Pizarro jumped up and patted Veneto's black head. You played wonderfully, just don't be dazed, shoot when you should, and you will have more chances in the future. Shi Xiaoyu shook Veneto's head and shouted. At this time, the game has come to 80 minutes, Milan is 1 goal behind, and Allegri is extremely anxious. He put on the Italian international, Pacini. This is a point-grabbing striker similar to Inzaghi. Go up to the forward, down to the back, Allegri is going to fight for his life. According to common sense, Fiorentina, who returned a goal in 80 minutes, should shrink moderately and play a defensive counterattack. But Montella is very clear that in San Siro, it is impossible to defend. Only by continuing to attack, press out, and pose a threat to Milan's defense, can we use offense to contain the opponent's attack. After all, offense is the best defense.